Hello! Welcome to New2NL Anniversary tips. This is tip 10 out of 10. With these anniversary tips I wanted to explain how the Dutch education system works, what to expect and what you could already arrange before moving to the Netherlands. Today we'll talk about the start of Dutch primary school, because this could be very different from what you're used to from your own country. Most children start school the day after their 4th birthday, so they start throughout the year. You don't have to wait until the beginning of the new school year. But from age 5 children are obliged to go to school. This means that the first year is very flexible, once your child has turned 5. Dutch education law is very strict, that's what we talked about in the first video. What a lot of parents don't know is that while your child is still 5 years old, you may keep them out of school for 5 hours per week. You don't need to give a specific reason, but you should inform the teacher that your child will be missing those hours. You may not accumulate those hours. If there are special circumstances, so for medical reasons or when the child is really tired, then you could discuss with the principal to miss 10 hours per week. But then you really need to have permission in advance. So most children, they turn 4 and they go to school. Most schools combine the first 2 years in the same class. So that is called Group 1 and Group 2 and also kleuterklas, so like kindergarten. In Group 1 and 2 they learn through play. There's a strong focus on social skills, gross and fine motor skills, learning from each other. The older children help the new children. They work a lot with themes and then they learn a lot of new vocabulary related to the theme. They read books about the themes, sing songs, go on excursions, make arts and crafts. So the same words come back in different contexts and in that way the children learn how to use them in different ways. I hear from some clients from other countries that their 4-year-olds already get homework from school. This is not something they do in the Dutch schools. And also for the higher classes, maybe they will give some homework, but it will not be that much. Especially for the younger children, you don't need to expect any. And what you also cannot expect that there's a fixed curriculum. The government has established what they call core objectives or attainment targets, and those are the basic things that the schools have to teach. But then it's up to them how they teach that and in which order they teach it. So there's no fixed order of things that the children learn. But you can trust the school that in the end they will teach all the things your child is supposed to do. And when the children are older, so in Group 2, then they often ask to help the teacher, to take more responsibility. And maybe they build a house with building blocks and then the teacher asks them, okay, it's very nice the house that you built. Can you also write a word for house? So in that way they prepare for reading and writing when they're ready for it. When they're not ready for it yet, that's also fine. They develop all at their own pace. There's a lot of repetition of things, and if a child has already learned a lot of things about a certain topic, they will dive deeper into that. They will learn more about it. So they will not learn exactly the same things, but always with a different twist. Or they make it more difficult or more broad. So that really varies. The true academics, so reading and writing and math, start in Group 3 at age 6. That's like 1st grade in a lot of countries. But they build it up very gradually. And this is the reason that most newcomer classes start at age 6. Because in Group 1 and 2 the children learn through play, so if a child doesn't speak Dutch yet, they will learn in this playful way. That gets more difficult if they have to start reading and writing in Dutch while they don't know the words yet. So that's a whole other story. In another video we talked about the newcomer classes. Most children are 6 when they go to Group 3. But it doesn't only depend on their date of birth. And this is also a bit confusing for some international parents. So most schools, not all, they use the 1st of January as the cutoff date. So a child who was born before the 1st of January, they spend less than 2 years in Group 1 and 2. And a child who was born after the 1st of January, they spend more than 2 years, 2.5 years or so in the kindergarten, Group 1 and 2. But they don't only look at the date of birth. They also look at how mature a child is, if they already show interest in reading and writing, if they like to play with younger children or with older children, how they feel most comfortable. So the system is very child-led. And you cannot speak of repeating the year when a child spends more time in Group 1 and 2. And it's very common in the Dutch system to repeat a year if they didn't master all the skills yet, or maybe skip a year if they're very far ahead. So it's very common that the age difference in one class is 1.5 to 2 years, especially if you go towards the end of primary school, beginning of secondary, and in university it's even larger. So there's no stigma on being the oldest in the class or spending more time in school. It really depends on what's best for this specific child. So children, they start school when they turn 4, but they all go together to group 3 in the new school year. So this means that in the beginning, group 1 and 2 are still pretty small. About 15 children more or less, depending on the school and how they arrange things. And then once children turn 4, they join the class. So at the end of the school year, the class is at its biggest size. But then the older children of group 2, they go to group 3, and then the class is small again in the beginning of the new school year, and it grows again once children turn 4. So it is very organically and very dynamic in the first 2 years. And when your child is new, they will not be new for a long time, because there will be other new children joining, and then your child will feel already a bit more advanced and they can already explain things to the other child. Besides that, a child also needs to be toilet trained, so they have to be able to go to the toilet by themselves and wipe themselves, because the teacher cannot help a child in the toilet and let the other children by themselves. So that is the requirement for starting school. And when a child has a gym class, so PE class, that they wear clothes that they can easily take off and on, so that the child can manage themselves and it's not the teacher who has to tie 25 shoes at the same time. So those things you can help your child and the teacher to manage. There's a lot more to tell about this and other subjects as well. If you want to know more about the Dutch or international schools in the Netherlands, you can contact me through my website. You find all the details there. You can also book a call. And then via video call, I'll explain how things work and I'll answer your specific questions. So I hope to see you soon, and good luck with everything. It will all be okay. Just inform yourself properly. Okay, bye bye.